What did you do wrong here?
Well, I think that as much as I'd like to take ownership for everything, I can't, because I didn't actually start the narrative of she's a liar, she's a con, she's a fraud. You know, I think that really is what blew it up. How I was living my life was not some kind of like a, open invitation for people to kind of just initiate their hate and pick on me. It's like I try to go back and think, is there something I could have done differently? Is there a point where I could have said, this is my whole backstory? I can't go back and point to like one thing that I would have done differently.
You haven't answered the question, and if that is your answer, holy God, you don't want that to be your answer. I said, what is your ownership in this? And you said, well, I can't take ownership for all of it.
Right.
But then you proceeded to take ownership for none of it. You're not a total victim in this. You know the difference between right and wrong.
Now, let me tell you something. None of Trump is American. All of his family, all of his wives, everything of him is immigration. His wife is from the Czech Republic. Is he trying to kick her out?
No, of course not.
His parents aren't American, trying to kick them out?
No, they moved illegally.
His children, they aren't fully American. They plan to kick him out?
Pretty sure that all these people moved here legally, though.
Okay, so you're saying that just because...
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time.
Let me just say this is a Bernie rally. Try going to like the zoo.
Oh, that's a very clever suggestion.
Or the depths of hell itself. Have a good day.
Sassy.
A question for all of you. I guess, what scholastic credibility do any of you have, just coming from a place of having, been in college for a really long time and taking a bunch of environmental studies courses and knowing that, climate change is real, and a big part of climate change is, the United States is, gluttonous, consumer-driven, abusive, exploitative lives. I've heard these things from...
and this is what you're being taught. This is called brainwashing, by the way. But anyway, you're being brainwashed. My
Sorry, who's disproved global warming? I just want to know who's disproved global warming. Because not the 98% of climate scientists I've heard talk about
Okay,
it.
hang on. Let me answer. Can I answer that one? Okay, you're in college, so I'd say logic will work beautifully with you. If we say that 98%, no, please, sweetie, because actually, this point I really love doing. So let's
I can't take anything you said seriously, because you said that washing machines were more liberating than the birth control pill. You don't know anything. You are the least credible human being I've ever encountered. I know that this is absurd. I just can't help it. I'm sorry, but you're a goddamn idiot.
A goddamn idiot.
You are. And you're lying through your teeth.
Is this what you always say?
And how does it feel?
What am I lying about?
Feels good to tell the truth.
What am I lying about?
I've been to Africa.
What am I lying
You've
about?
been to Africa?
I haven't been to Africa, but that doesn't mean that I don't know
but
that the infant mortality rate in neighborhoods in Philadelphia are just as bad as place in Africa, alright?
Say again?
The infant mortality rate in black and brown communities, like in North Philadelphia, is just as high as in many places.
Okay, that is factually inaccurate. But can I just do one point, because I think it's worthwhile. Even though I've just been personally insulted, which I think is an extraordinary thing for intelligent people to do if she was talking about academic background. That's not what an open-minded person does. But let's just look at what she said, because I think it's really worthwhile. So she said that 98% of scientists agree that global warming is a major problem, basically. That's what she said, 98% of scientists. Everyone in this room is going to college, so you're going to like the logic of this. If you say 98% of something, there must be 100%. So somewhere there must be a list. There must be a list of all the scientists that exist. My first challenge to this lady is to give me the list of every scientist that exists in the world. Because if they do, that's how you can use the word 98%. If there isn't a definitive list, there is no such thing as 98%. Number one, logic. Number two, science does not proceed by consensus. Science is not democratic. At one time in history, it was the consensus that the Earth was flat. Everyone believed in that. Everyone agreed on that. One man said that that was not true. One person is true. The idea, anyone who says to you, the majority agree with it, so it's true, is not a scientist. I don't know what they are, but they're not a scientist. The laws of gravity do not get agreed by a consensus, by a vote, via democracy. Science is not democratic. Science is about truth. One person can be correct. The person who quotes 98% of science is somebody who already knows they're losing.
Gotcha, bitch!
So they are using illogic. 98% of all scientists, unless you have an index of all scientists. Richard Lindzen, chair of atmospheric sciences at MIT, says we need to not worry about this. He was on the IPC. He resigned because of the fact that it was so unscientific. The list of scientists that I think is running to about 1,000 that I've seen a list of, who dissent with the other opinion. It grows all the time, but it doesn't really matter how big the list is. It doesn't matter. Because the truth is the truth, and it's not done by majority. We can't all vote in this room about the laws of physics and make it right. And I would like the lady who insulted me earlier to at least acknowledge my logic, at least acknowledge that logic, because she is obviously a highly educated person, although I question that. Anyone who needs to insult, anyone who needs to use ad hominem attacks against the speaker is someone who is obviously really shaky on their facts. Hit me with facts, girl. But I mean, when you have to go down to the personal attacks, you're obviously really losing it. You're going to give me the list then of the 100%. So you have a list of every scientist that ever lived.
Not a list. The book isn't really that big. But I do have some notes about the IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change.
Intergovernmental, not interscientific. It's a governmental panel. It's not scientific.
Yes, yes it is. And it was evaluated research from over 130 countries.
Great.
Some of them were actually part of the European Union. And, you know, the European Union uses...
What about the European Union? Like,
I'm just saying they use a lot of really great, I don't know...
Really good what?
Sustainable energy practices.
Oh my God, okay.
Are you sure about that?
I have to stop you on that. In Spain, do you know what the unemployment rate in Spain is? Where they have this wonderful... Which was the poster child for renewable energy, Spain. They have over 20% unemployment.
And how many of them have health care and get to eat food all the time because their government takes care of them? Just curious.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
Well,
I can tell you one...
Well,
I can tell you one...
Well,
You're about the only person in the world who thinks that the European experiment is a success.
Except for the president.
They have no money. They're being bailed out by everyone. The whole thing is falling to pieces. And look at her. My God, you need to read a newspaper. You have got to be informing yourself. The European Union are about to crumble. The euro is about to crumble. Are you aware of that?
And the US dollar's doing so good right now?
It's doing a lot better. It's doing an awful lot better. Europe is falling to pieces. You do know that now, do you? Don't you? You know that they're rioting in Greece. In Greece, people retire at 50, and they can't continue to pay them. Greece has no money. You do know that. You do know that. You know that in France, there is an incredible problem. They're spending more money than they have. You do know this. Ireland, where I'm from, we are in such bad shape, we have had to give over the sovereignty of our country to the IMF. The IMF had to come in to run Ireland. Do not sit here and try and explain to people here that Europe is a success. You are one girl in a million who's going to believe that. The whole world is acknowledging that the European experiment was a mistake.
Well, then what experiment worked?
The American experiment! The American experiment! Let me make a point on that. God bless America. This is the only country. Everyone's trying to come here. I don't think Cubans are stupid, by the way. Cubans swim with sharks to get to this country.
And they're drilling for oil.
Swim with sharks.
I mean,
That's hilarious.
this is amazing.
Europe, oh my God.
The United States of America.
I want to quote
people die. They hide in trucks and vans. They give their life. They give their children to come here. And you think we're foul? You read the newspaper. Do you not read these articles